Next on Married People's Business,
we'll be talking about 3 mistakes to avoid when building a successful business.
we talked to power couple Nakia Sprouse and Dr. Ahmad Sprouse of Integrated Body and Medicine on how to build a successful business and keep your marriage afloat. And if you like this content and before you watch it, we need you to hit the subscribe button, like, and stay tuned. There's that sound. There's the music again. So, Shalise, you know what that means?
We are back.
We are back with Married People's Business. And I am one of your hosts, Michael Tober, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Shalise Tober. Thank you so very much.
And we're always willing to deliver the best premium content on successful married couples and collaborators. And we have 2 of the rising stars of Northwest Indiana here, and we're going to have them talk about their business. You want to introduce them?
Sure. So on today's episode of Married People's Business, we have Nakia and Dr. Ahmad Sprouse. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you all with us. You know, we try to spotlight different businesses and couples that are doing things together. And so when we heard about you all, it was the perfect fit to what this podcast does.
Thank you.
And let us tell the people what this podcast does. Married People's Business is all about love and collaboration of married couples that are successful in business, that have come together to do wonderful things like the Sprouses. And we just don't focus on that. We focus on relationship advice, tips, and collaborators and partners that come together to do wonderful things. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give some good content to the folks, and we're going to introduce what this episode of the podcast is about.
Yes.
And you want to introduce the topic?
So today's topic is 3 mistakes to avoid when building a successful business. Y'all have to pardon me. I'm having issues with my Mary J. Blige hoops over my headphones. Sorry about that.
Mary J. Blige. We had enough room in here. You could do the Mary J. Blige
You know, I'll do
dance.
the dance. The boots, her boot game is like 100.
I know that's right.
I don't think the kid would like that because you'd probably kick her in the process.
you
I'll be
know.
your backup dancer. Don't worry.
See,
I'll
look,
be your
that's why I'm
backup.
so happy. Look,
I
got you
think go
in here.
Mary. Go Mary.
So, see? Look, already. So look, let's go ahead and let you all introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about yourselves.
Am I starting first or you?
Ladies first, always on Married People's Business podcast. I keep the fellas out of trouble and off the couch on this podcast.
Thank you.
I don't know about all that.
Shalise said,
It stays made, so just in case of emergency.
my name is Nakia Sprouse. I am originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Transplant to Gary, and also still in Northwest Indiana. Have 2 wonderful kids. One's in 6th grade, one's a senior. Married to this man on the right of me for 20 years. We've been together for 28.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we got to get the sound effects in.
Thank you.
He is going to use that entire board.
Had a degree, was in corporate America for a while, business background, did a lot of budgeting and forecasting. I have a business myself. I have Busy Bees Pottery and Art Studio, but in addition to that, I help Dr. Ahmad in the office.
All right.
Now I got a question, doctor. Do you make her call you doctor? Because boy, I wish I was a doctor. I think Shalise, she would never call me Michael. It'll be Dr. Toby.
You know what? I didn't have to enforce that. On the level of the professionalism, she did it. But sometimes I'll catch myself say, "Hey, babe."
We cannot call each other babe in the office.
Yeah,
it slips out sometimes.
But you can. You're talking to 2 lawyers here, so I can tell you that the Title VII laws do not apply. That's one of the benefits of being married to your partner. You can touch on them, and every now and then I'll just slap Shalise on the booty.
Do not encourage this one over here, please.
So, Dr. Ahmad, tell me about yourself. Before we go spiral down.
My name's Dr. Ahmad. My mom named me Ahmad Rashad because she really liked Ahmad Rashad.
Okay.
I'm born and raised in Gary, Indiana. Went to Marquette Middle School. Some of you guys in Marquette Elementary, Kennedy King Middle, because we live out in Miller. Also went to Ward High School, 93 graduate.
Oh, 93. That's our year, too.
Yeah, that's our year. Yeah. Markel, you know Markel Watkins?
Most definitely.
Okay.
We played football.
Okay.
together.
Okay.
Yes, sir. From there, after graduating high school, went off to college. And with the hopes of meeting my wife, because I always wanted to be my wife in college, and I wanted to have that Cliff Huxtable, Claire Huxtable type of home. So I always had that ingrained in the back of my mind, how I want to to live and get old and with my partner, because I didn't want to have a starter marriage. I didn't want to just have to be married and get divorced and married again, and I knew that I wanted to take the steps needed to keep the marriage going.
You know what?
That's
though?
what's up.
I'm gonna tell you what I caught. He said he always knew he wanted to, meet his wife in college. He looked, he gave her that 11 days. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
But see, my thing is, I don't know if that was really him saying that on his own free will.
It was.
Because what the viewers can't see is Nakia is holding his brother's hand
That's
so
love.
tight, and I think there's a knife underneath there. In case he say something wrong, so she gonna jab him like, it's like I love my ow.
But look, speaking of owl, so look, I'm loving the t-shirts that got released.
Well, before they talk about that, why don't you tell us about the business?
Yes,
the
that's
name
what
of the
I was
business.
going to.
Yeah.
So we, it's integrated body and medicine. Feel free to jump in. Feel like it. I'm gonna be the only person talking today. We started off as Kennedy Avenue Chiropractic. We still have Kennedy Avenue Chiropractic, but of course the name mainly chiropractic.
Okay.
We expanded our services, just treating the patients that we have and realizing that we need to offer more services to our patients. So not just focusing on the back, quote unquote. We're more holistic, so we do injections, joint injections, knee injections, shoulder injections. We have a doctor of physical therapy on staff, so we do physical therapy as well. We have a nurse practitioner. She does the injections. What else? We have nutritional supplements. We have a massage therapist. So we're more integrated. We offer a number of different services.
And that's what I noticed when we were doing the research to get ready to talk to you. And that's why we thought you would be the perfect couple to talk to our viewers and our listeners about three mistakes to avoid when you are trying to run a successful business. Because what I did was I looked at your Google reviews, because that's where most people start when they're trying to find a professional. And I want to read some of these Google reviews for our listeners and our viewers. So there's one review. This is the first one. It says, "Love the welcome from all the staff, friendly and helpful. The massage relieved my tension joints." That's one. Another one is Dr. Ahmad does an awesome adjustment. Hats off to the young ladies who serve as support staff. And the other review is, "Definitely recommend this place and their services." And you had almost 200 Google reviews. And
yes.
Shout out to your business. And that's why we want you to share kind of how did you develop such a strong brand, and maybe some of the mistakes, if you would share with some of our viewers and our listeners about some of the mistakes that you need to do to avoid when you're building a successful business. What mistakes would you avoid?
Starting off with the Google reviews. Thank you for reading those. Number one is not having good people in place.
Okay.
And I think all three of the reviews you read were talking about our staff, along with Dr. Ahmad. It's one thing to say, I'm going to have a business and I want it to be a successful business, but if your staff is not on point, if your staff is not willing to help the customer, if your staff has an attitude, what makes the customer want to keep coming back?
Did you interview Dr. Ahmad?
Yeah, I did. Before we walked down that aisle.
8 years of interviewing.
8 years of interviewing, yes. And it did take a long time.
Well, you passed the test, brother. You passed the test. Good job.
She passed too. Nobody's 100. It's always
right,
80-20.
50, yeah. But yeah, the number one thing is to make sure that you have awesome staff in place, and for them to be able to run the business if you're not there. If you got to take a day off, you need to be able to trust your staff that they're going to get the job done.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
a great mistake to avoid, because so many people rush. I think they're so happy to open up a business. And I know we were. I can remember when we first opened our business, and that's one of the things that sometimes you overlook, because most business owners and entrepreneurs are so focused on what services that they can provide,
yes,
and they don't necessarily think about the support staff. So, Dr. Ahmad, how did both of you kind of search? Because I know, like right now, it's very difficult to maybe find quality staff. So, what is the vetting process, I guess, to make sure that you have the people in place to get these glowing reviews? What steps did you guys take, or what mistakes did you avoid to get that?
Well, definitely when I started working with the other doctor in 2015, and when I took over the business in 2018, I brought over some of the staff that worked there because I had a rapport with them, and they knew my demeanor and how I operated, and it allowed me to be freedom of expression. Also, making them, I knew they were accountable and knowledgeable of what they did, so they also helped. We try to cover each other, you know, and we try to staff. You know, we try to find out. We try to find staff that can. We're not for everyone, and we realize that. But we try to find staff that are just as goofy and weird as we are, that fit into the misfits with us, and
We are misfits.
and we try to really. I'm all about being humble. You know, I like being called Dr. Ahmad, but I was always Ahmad before I was Dr. Ahmad, so I never forget that. And people know that I try to remain smart, humble, and hungry. So during that process, I look for people who are smart, humble, and hungry, and people who are coachable and teachable. And as I mature, a lot of times I have to teach my staff that all criticism isn't bad. We're trying to make you better for constructive criticism. And look, I'm not perfect. Criticize me as well. I'm on the target board as well because I have room for growth as well. So I try to teach and try to mentor my staff and be a leader to my staff. And I try to have them follow my example. So that's with love, compassion, you know, honesty, and just being genuine.
Yeah. I like that you said you try to teach and coach. I think that's something that employees and staff and people that you work with don't really realize that's what you're trying to do. Sometimes they get offended or they take things negatively. As you said, you know, it's constructive criticism, but know that it's a teachable thing, and we're not trying to tear you down or anything like that. We're trying to help improve you and overall improve the business and the service that you offer.
That is so true, and I think that this first mistake that Nakia went over is I'm so glad she talked about it because it's really the foundation of building a business because you're only as good as the people that you choose to work with you. And, you know, I think you can really get just so enamored with the concept of having your own business that you are quick to just try to fill seats and bring people in. Because as a business owner, we're very busy. We don't have a lot of times. But as Nakia pointed out, the mistake, and Dr. Ahmad pointed out, one of the worst mistakes you can make is not taking a careful audit of the folks that you decide to affiliate with.
Yeah.
And I make them feel appreciated as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
shoot, I'm going to have to come work for Dr. Ahmad.
What you trying to say?
Well, I'm just saying, that's just another podcast, Dr. Ahmad. You get bonuses?
We try to.
Okay, Dr. Ahmad, I need to see. And I can get my,
Wait,
spine adjusted at the same time.
Really?
This brother this is why they have like 350 million Google reviews because he giving out manipulations and bonuses.
Okay with you.
And those are actual real people. We do not change our email address.
This one.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man. So how did you two meet? Oh, go
I was
ahead.
just about to ask that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned college, so
Yeah.
We went to a very small college in Richmond, Indiana, Earlham College, EC. Shout out to EC.
We played
Okay.
Earlham once.
Is that an HBCU?
No, I wish.
We
It's the
thought
Ivy
it
League
was.
School of Indiana.
Of Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Quaker
played
school.
Richmond for a homecoming once.
Quaker.
So you met at Earlham?
Yes, we met at
Okay.
Earlham.
Earlham, I'm sorry, I said Richmond.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
In Richmond,
In
Indiana.
Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good football program, didn't they? Well, you play football there?
No, not in Richmond. I played at Earlham for a while. At Earlham, we did it was so-so. We
I was
had one
going to
year
say
we were
that
10 and 2.
football program was not good.
Well, my sophomore year, we were 10 and 2. After that, it was like 2 and 10 after that.
I know because I was a cheerleader and it was not good.
Oh,
She tried to. She said it so sweet. The football program was not good.
So you met in college.
Yes.
Okay, and who made the first move?
She did.
Ooh.
Of course.
Oh,
Why did I know
oh,
that?
Goodness. All right,
I figured that. I could tell Dr. Ahmad's swag.
Well, you know, see,
Look.
you got to understand Earlham. Earlham is a Quaker school. They have like feminist studies. I had to, sometimes growing up in inner city, sometimes you say sweetheart, dears, and they was like, no. you're being disrespectful to us. You don't refer to me like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then how do you want me? Don't say sweetheart. Don't say dear. Don't patronize me. Just call me by my name.
Right.
I was like,
I finally.
So I was kind of nervous about approaching Nakia.
And it's a small school. It was only 1,000 students when we went, so we knew who all of us were. It wasn't hard to spot us. So we hung out.
So what was your line? What line did you drop on Doctor to get him to secure?
And my mom is probably watching this video. So, can we, next question, please?
So she shot her shot, and so they went out on
that
that
line.
We got to get to that line because I want to hear what the line was.
This is a PJ.
What's your name? What's your sign?
Right.
It's supposed to be PG, right?
Did you say my
Okay.
name is Nakia? I'm Aquarius.
No.
Float on.
Stop, don't sing. Don't sing.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna come back to that, Nakia.
Nakia.
We're gonna come back to that, Nakia.
You hit him with the Barry White voice. You was like, oh.
Show you right.
See, look, get him every time.
Oh my God! Oh man!
All
So,
right.
yeah, we met in college, and he was a junior, and I was a first year. Actually, when I came,
Oh, you like older men, huh?
well, see, he wasn't that much older. When
He
I
was-
started,
he was
he
dating
was
an upperclassman.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
My birthdays though, because we're technically what 8 months apart,
A year and a half, I think.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But he was actually in Kenya when I started. He was doing study abroad in Kenya,
Oh, okay.
and I
Oh.
came, and he wasn't there. So of course when
So
he
you was
came,
looking for him.
but no, everybody would talk about Ahmad, and I'm like, who is this Ahmad person? He ain't even here. So we developed our cliques, and then he
okay.
came back. I was like, who are you invading our
Now,
card
now
game?
what was
our
Dr.
space?
Ahmad doing that had the chicks checking for? Was she running on the beach with no shirt on with a little dog? What was
He
she doing?
did say he played
Massages.
football.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, he said the massages.
I'm joking.
That was
He probably
great.
died.
Oh, that's hilarious,
Hey.
though. I love it. Do what
Hey,
you gotta do.
doctor,
Shoot
you
your
gotta-
shot.
Got to do what you got to do, Doctor. I'm with you
You
on
know.
that. I'm with you.
You
But
said-
I was, like I mentioned earlier, I was a cheerleader, and he was actually the base for the cheerleaders. So I think
Oh.
that's probably what
Okay.
drew us closer.
Most definitely.
Okay.
And for people who are listening and watching, the base. You was the person that used to throw the
lifter.
Yeah, you would throw the ladies up.
Lifter.
Man, I see you, Doctor.
Never drop a person.
I bet.
Undefeated.
I see you pimping. I see you.
Whatever it takes.
We need to turn this podcast.
Any means.
I was trying.
All right, we're gonna come back to the business. We're gonna come back to the business.
So you all are in Richmond, and you come back. How do you get from Fort Wayne to Richmond to Northwest Indiana?
He had graduated first, and he came back up here. And I didn't want to go back to Fort Wayne after I graduated, so I ended up moving to Chicago for 2 years because I knew I wanted to be close to him, but I'm not going to tell him that's why I moved to Chicago.
You just did, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I worked in Chicago for a couple years, and then I got tired of giving Chicago my money to park on the street. So I moved to Griffith for a couple years, and then we got married because, our parents are pretty old school, so we wasn't shacking. We were going to get married before we moved in together. So
Okay.
All right.
And I had to make sure that she, liked to listen to my Lou Rawls before she fall asleep. Like Tommy.
Wait, I was just gonna say like Tommy. He was listening to Natural Man before he went to sleep every night.
That is
Come on.
hilarious.
All right.
So what's the second mistake that you want our aspiring business folks to avoid, Dr. Ahmad or Nakia?
I would say inaction. Saying something needs to be done, whether it may be discipline or maybe, implementing something new. That inaction or just being that deer in the headlights and just staying frozen will cause you to fail because now you're inactive. You're not doing anything to change the situation. So, Nakia, what would you say?
I definitely agree with that, especially after COVID, because we had to pivot and do 360 turns and 180 turns, and definitely the inaction. But I think one major thing is not having passion in what you're doing. And as a married couple, his passion became somewhat my passion because I wasn't in the medical field. I wasn't, that wasn't my route, but I saw his passion. And he was working. Actually, he didn't. He went back to chiropractic school when we were married. We had small children. He was working at BP, making good money, overtime
hold on,
money.
let me back up because because that's a good thing. Because the reason I say that is because God works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does.
And when I came out of college, I didn't get the job I wanted to in Indianapolis, so I came back home. I was kind of upset because I'm like, I got this college degree and I can't find any work, especially in my field. And God's way of humbling you. So my first job was washing dishes. Here I am, washing dishes with a biology degree, and I'm like, okay. So then I worked there for a week because I'm not busting suds. I got a job working at Champs. I like working at Champs. My aunt got me a job working at Ameritech. Back then, that was called AT&T. I liked the job, making good money. But I remember one morning I was sitting in my vehicle, and I'm like, a little voice came to me and was like, dude, I got bigger plans for you. You could have went to high school and got this job and already had 5 or 6 years under your belt. Hey, look, close your eyes, take my hand, and have faith. So I didn't know what that meant. So I'm like, okay, what should I do now? So I started moving in the direction of healthcare because I tell people sometimes do not listen to the voice of doubt because doubt is not of God. And see, doubt is what kept me from becoming an orthopedic surgeon because I feel like I wasn't smart enough. I couldn't get past physics with my nemesis. So I couldn't get past physics, And I was like, well, I'll just dumb myself down and get a job working blue collar work. But God had bigger plans for me. So during that transition, I got laid off and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. So I got a job working at BP Amco. God was also speaking to me with that because I hated every moment of that place. And it wasn't for me because it's easy. I made $100,000. Okay, my first 2 years there, I made upwards of that much money. But the money was being shoved down my throat. I would come home, I would be irritable. I remember times I would cry before going through the gate, but it was a way for me not to become complacent and settled. I have a goal for you. Let me push you to where I want you to go. Again, close your eyes, have faith. All right? And that's how I developed that passion. And as I started making that move, I came down with sciatica issues where I was bedridden for a week. And I didn't know what was going on. It was the worst pain I had felt in my entire life. I went to urgent care. What they do is they give you opioids, and they send you on your way and schedule an appointment for a doctor 3 weeks down the line. What do I do until that point? But during that transition, I had started taking massage therapy classes, and I met with my mentor now, Dr. Jim Demko. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I know him.
When I was at my lowest, because I was taking the opioids that weren't helping. I wasn't sleeping. I was irritable. I called him up, told him what was going on, and he gave me some exercises to do. And I started doing them because I was off of work. I started doing exercises every day. 3 to 4 times a day. And that first day, it took me from being like a 12 out of 10 in pain down to like a 9. And each day it went lower and lower. That by the time I got in to see the neurologist, I was in no pain. And I'm thinking to myself, during those times when I was in pain, I was thinking about how I wanted to end it. Because when you have that pain in your body that won't go away, you can't fix it, you can't sleep, your mind starts thinking negative thoughts. And it was through that moment that when he helped me, that like, I know there are other people out there. Because no surgery is guaranteed. And that's why you sign off on all the paperwork, for releasing them of any responsibility. And I also thought about, I don't like needles. And 2, whenever they put you to sleep, there's no guarantee that you'll wake up. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what can I do to help myself? And how can I help other people who are in the same situation I was when they feel like this pain is never going to end? And if you've never had sciatic pain, it's worse than breaking a bone. I tell people, I showed them my arm of my motorcycle accident. It didn't hurt nearly as much as that had when I had sciatica going from my back down to my big toe. So for him to give me exercises and not even put hands on me, then I'm like, well, then I can help other people in the same way.
That's awesome.
That is a beautiful testimony.
Yes.
And it really dovetails into what your second tip to avoid, which is inaction. And we have a term in our office, it's paralysis by analysis. I use that a lot. And a lot of times as business owners, we can get stuck, right? And, being stuck or being paralyzed keeps you from opening up that beautiful business like what you and your wife have today. because you could have gotten stuck as a dishwasher. You could have gotten stuck at the mill, at BP, not the mill, but at BP. You could have gotten stuck in so many different parts of your life, and being stuck would have stopped you from opening up the business that you have today. So sometimes it's not necessarily about what mistake you make in the
business we have.
The business, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, and that's the way to correct me. The business that you have, but being stuck could stop the business that both of you have if you would have just stopped at one station in your life. So kudos to both of you.
And the other thing that I pulled out of that is you had the faith to follow that voice with the Holy Spirit telling you, look, I got something for you.
Sometimes I had an evil stepdad, called me evil stepdad. Didn't get along with him. Told me that I won't go mouth nothing. I'm being very politically correct. That was fuel. Another fuel for my fire was someone telling me nobody's going to come see a black chiropractor.
I remember that conversation.
Wow.
I said, okay. So now I know what I got to do now. So when you tell me I can't do something, then I'm going to try to break my back, literally, to do it. And when I got that first star for being best in the region, I made sure that the person that told me that I couldn't see a black chiropractor. And every year when we get another star, I'll send her. So now I'm trying to be a 5-star general this year.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
I like it.
So let me ask this question. So, this is Dr. Ahmad's passion, and you talked about, how this comes along and how you join along as a spouse. So how did it come about that you're like, okay, I'm going to be involved and this is going to be our business?
And before you answer that, I still ain't forgot about that pickup line.
This podcast is over.
You got to understand, you're dealing with two lawyers. We got elephant memories. So we not going to get up out of this chair until we find out what that pickup line is. But go ahead, Nakia.
So as the good doc mentioned earlier, we acquired the business from his old boss. So I was helping in the process of meeting with the attorneys, the accountants, setting up the business, doing a lot of that process. So that's kind of where I came on at. I used to work downtown Chicago, and that seemed to take up a lot of my time. And so I was like, we got these little kids. I'm commuting back and forth. I need to take a break. So I resigned from my job, started helping in the business. But on a different level, I was doing HR stuff, administrative stuff. He was the bronze. He says he's the bronze. I'm the brain.
I'm the muscle.
He's the muscle. I'm the brain. And so it was really supposed to be temporary. And I knew I wanted to go back to work after the business was set up and transferred into our name and us acquiring it. But I knew that during this process, I really enjoyed it. And I said, I could be an entrepreneur and I could open up something else. I didn't want to start from scratch, so I started looking at franchises. And I was trying to figure out what business I could bring to Northwest Indiana that the whole family could enjoy. And then I came across Busy Bees Pottery and Art Studio. And I said, this is it. Our customers could be babies all the way up to senior citizens. And so I went with that. I opened it up, hired my staff, found a location, brought everything in. So that was November 2019.
Yes.
Then COVID hit. So I had this newly opened up business that was now shut down because of COVID. The staffing at our office changed dramatically at the chiropractic office. It changed dramatically because some of our employees had small children. I lost a marketer. We lost a couple therapists. So my presence was needed in the office because that's where, most of our investment was. And I had a wonderful manager. As we talk about having wonderful staff. So I had a wonderful manager at Busy Bees. So she was able to, keep it going while I spent most of my time at the office. And still, it is that way to this day. Because I'm not at Busy Bees a lot. I'm at the office Monday through Friday. And so, that's kind of where I stepped in at. I do a lot of the marketing. I have a MBA, but then a marketing minor. So able to take my skills as a marketer and do a lot of the marketing. All the marketing you see for integrated body and medicine or Kennedy Avenue Chiropractic is me.
Okay.
So
Nice.
thank you. And then I do payroll. I still do administrative stuff. A lot of the I don't want to call it door-to-door sales, but drop stuff off. Hey, this is who we are. If there's health fairs, making sure we get those set up. A lot of that is me and my staff assisting. So that's kind of where I am in the business, but definitely there. I enjoy our patients. Our patients are wonderful. I get to see them, interact with them, talk to them, and even though he treats them, I do try to make it a point to say hey and appreciate them because our patients are the best. We have the best patients.
Wonderful.
Yeah, there was the one thing I want to kind of circle back to what was said about passion and activity. And one of the unique things about married couples when they have businesses together is sometimes you're around your spouse all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I heard you say, Nakia,
I'm not even making eye contact.
Nakia, you know what? We ain't gonna have that on this podcast.
You gonna make
After that man almost jumped down my throat when I said his business instead of y'all, you better cherish that man. Cherish that man.
I do. I love him. I do.
Y'all so sweet.
Yeah.
They was holding pinky for me.
I know we did.
I know.
I was like, they ain't finna let it go.
But Dr. Ahmad mentioned inactivity and passion as a mistake. Not having passion could lead to you not building a successful business. So how do you two keep the passion going in your marriage when you're around each other all the time? And you have another business.
Yes.
That's something that's different than Shalisa and I. We don't have a Tobert and Tobert is, law firm is the only business technically we have.
Right.
But we don't have another business on top of that. So how do you keep it going when you got all these businesses and you're with each other all the time?
It's hard because as a woman, you know how you have like 50 billion things going on in your mind at once.
Yes.
And then his mind is
Every 27 seconds. 33 if it's longer.
see? And so, I'm not going to say that's easy. It's not easy.
It's hard, man, being a man. Y'all don't understand. Dr. Ahmad, they don't understand.
It's
what we
hard
go
being a
through.
woman.
Yes,
Understand what we
Shalene.
go
Look.
through. I go home and I'm trying to figure out where can I lay down next. What am I going to eat?
Really? That's what you're worried about? Because I wake up worried
It's a
about what's for dinner.
complex world out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is the worst question to ask. What are we having for dinner? What do you want for dinner? That is the worst question. But I digress.
Anyway.
Okay.
So
But we are fortunate enough that my mom lives with us. She
Yes.
moved in right before our
Oh,
COVID.
okay.
So she
Yeah, we
helped
could
her.
not do any of this without her being there.
Oh, shout out to Mom Duke.
Shout out to
Mom Duke.
Joyce Sprouse.
What's her name? Go ahead.
Joyce Sprouse.
Okay, make sure you say her name on the podcast so
Yes,
she get
Mama
credit.
Joyce.
Mama Joyce. Mama
Mama
Joyce.
Joyce. But yeah, back to your question. It is. We try to keep the passion going. We try to have date nights. And you were talking about slapping behinds earlier.
She said it so properly too, slapping behind earlier. He said, hit my booty. That's what he said. So, no, I think he said, smack my booty. And she made it sound so eloquent.
And then when you in the workplace and you make eye contact and you know what that eye contact is about.
As soon as this office closed.
They got the little chairs, the little carpet.
Right.
Wait a minute now. No.
See, we don't have that in Tobert. See this hard
To
table?
future patients, that is not what is happening in the office.
That's right. Shout out.
That is not, we are not violating any kind of codes, nothing. No. It is all above board.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
make me
That's
think
us
about
being silly.
Well,
But
and
you
then
keep it light. You keep it light.
Yeah. And we do, and I have to plug one of our specialties in the office. We do have sexual health in the office, so we do provide supplements, natural supplements for both male and female. So that's how we also, keep the libido, the desire. We do have those supplements in our office.
What's this address?
8145 Kennedy Avenue, Highland.
Okay.
Let me go and click back on
Might
this
need a little
website.
package.
A little package.
A
See
little
what
package.
we can do. Order something. We gotta try this out before we sell it to the patients. Let's see how this works.
That's pretty much what happens. He's trying it more than I am. So I can
Because
attest.
he said 27 seconds or 33 of them.
It's about good 3 or 4 supplements for men, so he tries them. Yes.
Well, because we got so much on our minds. Like I said
gosh.
before, it's a complex world.
It is, you know, and I also encourage, we plug this stuff because a lot of times men won't, we take high blood pressure medicine. A lot of times they don't want to talk about that. And,
Yeah.
You know, but what happens is men will say, you know what, that's not working, so I'm going to stop taking my blood pressure medicine, which is a no-no.
Oh, wow.
And then now you done took a smaller problem, which could have been fixed, now you done had a stroke.
Yeah.
And now you ain't doing nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
So we encourage people to, that's happened, let their physician know, so they get their medicines changed, but then we also help on a supplemental level. And a better way to know how a product works a lot of times is to take it myself.
And
So-
our staff too.
and
Our
our staff.
staff, they not just that medicine. We have not just that nutritional supplement. We have other supplements in the office as well. But yeah.
Okay.
You know, with our nutritional health, with our doing COVID. I mean, I knock on wood that I have not caught COVID, and it was probably due to me having boosted my immune system with some of the supplements that we had around the office. I was taking. You guys don't see my book bag, but if you look at my book, if I shake it, it's just a bag of supplements that I take, from B vitamins to immune support, stuff like that, that helps heart health stuff, to, you know, try to get off of big pharmacology type of medicine type.
We have IVs too. So Myers cocktail. A lot of patients, when they did have COVID, they were getting the Myers cocktail in the hospital. So we do offer Myers cocktail in the office.
And what it's designed to do is just help your body do what's natural designed to do, and that's protect itself against, you know, foreign entities, foreign viruses and bacteria. So you're just giving your body the necessary tools to do what's designed naturally to do by God.
Yeah. So I'm listening to you all talk, and the name of your business really fits. I mean, you all are really integrated body
Yes.
That's
and
right.
medicine. I mean, like, I love that. I love
Thank
that. And you all are so natural when you talk about it with one another. You just finish in sentences and stuff.
Well, they didn't took one of them little packets from
Shut
me.
up.
Right here.
So as soon as the interview over,
As soon as it's over, we gonna talk about the package.
you know what?
So we're in the home stretch. What's the third mistake that you want entrepreneurs and business people to avoid in order to build a successful business? We're at the end of the rope here.
To my believers out there, pray.
There you go.
It changes.
It does.
So not incorporating prayer into
Yes.
your business is a mistake. That's
Yes.
pretty good.
And not, you know, I know that we all don't have the same God, but just, you know, looking to a higher power. But for us, it's God and Jesus and yeah. that's
Pretty much.
really- you gotta pray.
He's got me where, without him I wouldn't be here. So.
Yeah, especially being married and seeing each other every day, at home, at the office. It can be stressful, and if y'all not together, when two become one,
Absolutely.
two become one.
Preaching. She preaching.
Come on.
Yeah, she preaching. And on that note, since we talking about the word of God, so what was the pickup line? What was that pickup line? It was a scripture.
Wait,
wasn't it,
was
kid? Was it a
you asked me to go to
scripture?
church, didn't you? What church
Yes,
was that?
yes, I did ask him to go to church for me. That's what
Okay.
it was.
All right.
See? We got it. We got the pickup line out of Nakia for the podcast.
You believe in Jesus. Oh, we've had so much fun with you all today.
This was fun. This was fun.
It goes by so fast.
It does. It does.
Yes, well, I want to thank you all again.
Thank
so
you.
Give you a chance again. Shout out the name of your business, the address, hours, and whatever else you want to do to promote your business.
Integrated Body and Medicine, Kennedy Avenue Chiropractic, 8145 Kennedy Avenue, Highland, Indiana, 46322. Give us a call to make an appointment, 219-803-6630.
That's what's up. Any social media outlets? Or
Yes,
anything?
Facebook. We're not big social media people, but Facebook, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our websites.
All right.
And we're
Just-
also working some TikToks. Don't forget
We're
about
trying.
Bees as
We're
well.
trying to do some
I
TikToks.
can see y'all on some TikToks.
We're
I can
trying.
see it. All right.
Well, this was a beautiful podcast, and as always, we want to thank you for giving us your time and sharing tips to our viewers and our listeners. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button, hit the alarm, and make sure you follow us, Married People's Business. We're on all major podcast platforms. And just tune in the next time and help us develop more great content like this.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank
Love you, Mama.
All right.
Mama Joyce.